You are listening to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This podcast may contain objectionable language.
Welcome to Grim and Stone, the Mountain Perspective. This is our take on what's happening in the world. How you doing, Stody?
It's Monday morning. Stop.
So anything new and exciting in your life?
Jason chickens, pulling muscles.
There you go.
That's about it.
Yeah, I got a hearing appointment this afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Final time.
And then I can finally tell you I don't need hearing aids. Leave me the hell alone. Okay, let's get into this mess. This is a quick one. This is a, just so you don't forget. And, what's this douchebag's first name? Nidal Hasan. The asshole who went into there was a building where a lot of troops were getting shots and preparing to go to Afghanistan, preparing to deploy. And this dipshit walks in and unloads on everybody and killed 13, wounded more than 30 others at Fort Hood back in 2009. And just recently, he has renounced his American citizenship. So,
Hang him.
yeah. There was a whole other article about why it's difficult to get executions in the military, but I didn't want to go into all of that. But, no, this is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
He needs to friggin' die. Alright, next. First ever honor flight held for Vietnam vets. And the honor flights are, so far, traditionally have been for World War II veterans. And going to World War II memorials in Washington, D.C. Well, this was the, 40th anniversary of something. I had it, lost it, oh well, with Vietnam. So, the group decided that they were going to go ahead and do an honor flight for Vietnam vets. Let's see, Old Glory Honor Flight is the name of the group. And so they did a first ever, and it said one time only. What I'm guessing is they're not going to be doing Vietnam vet trips for, normally for a while yet. So, because, if they're doing World War II vets, then you get next is you got to do the Korean vets, then Vietnam, and so on and so forth. So, but I think this was just a special occasion, and 114 were randomly chosen for the Yellow Ribbon Honor Flight, and it included all branches and mostly combat vets. So, and then when they returned. On the flight back from D.C., there were packages and letters and cards for each of the veterans. So each of they showcased a couple of the veterans here, and they went and, looked at the wall and had their moments and cried and did everything you're supposed to do. And then on the way back, then there's this big, heartfelt thing from, family members and whatnot. And then when they landed, there was a huge crowd of people holding up signs, cheering, welcome home, thank you for your service. And one of the veterans is like, oh my God, this is for us. Oh, wow. And he was in the 101st Airborne Division. Why did I have such trouble saying that? And it earned a Purple Heart. Bob Williams from Milwaukee. And so they finally got their welcome home. And then they stayed for a concert by actor Gary Sinise, the Lieutenant Dan Band, and Tony Orlando, who sang Tie a Yellow Ribbon, which is a song about prison, which I never understood how the hell it ever became attributed to soldiers.
It's a welcome home.
But, so there's that. So good on them for doing the honor flight for the Vietnam vets. Alrighty. This is actually not going to take very long either. Famous veteran, Tammy Duckworth. Let's see here. U.S. Representative for Illinois 8th Congressional District. Democrat is, let's see, the first Asian American woman elected to Congress in Illinois, first disabled woman to be elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, and first member of Congress born in Thailand. Let's see. Ms. Duckworth previously served as Assistant Secretary for Public and Intergovernmental Affairs in the United States Department of Veteran Affairs from April 24th, 2009 to June 30th, 2011, and as Director of Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs from November 21st, 2006 to February 8th, 2009. Let's see. She was a Iraq War veteran, served as a U.S. Army helicopter pilot, suffered severe combat wounds, losing both of her legs and damaging her right arm. She was the first female double amputee from the war, continues to serve as lieutenant colonel in the Illinois National Guard, along with her husband. And let's see here. They really don't go into a whole hell of a lot. Let's see. Duckworth lost her right leg near the hip and her left leg below the knee from injuries sustained on November 12, 2004, when the UH-60 Blackhawk helicopter she was co-piloting was hit by a rocket-propelled grenade fired by Iraqi insurgents. So, I mean, that's some shit.
Yeah.
She was the first female double amputee in the war. The explosion almost completely destroyed her right arm, breaking it in 3 places and tearing tissue from the back side of it. Aye. Let's see. She received the Purple Heart on December 3rd, was promoted to major on December 21st at Walter Reed Medical Center, and also presented an Air Medal and an Army Commendation Medal. Let's see. She is a lieutenant colonel right now in the 106th Aviation Regiment, 28th Infantry Division. She's got a Purple Heart, Meritorious Service Medal, Air Medal, Army Commendation Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Reserve Component Achievement Medal with 4 Oak Leaf Clusters, Combat Action Badge, and Senior Army Aviator Badge.
It's impressive.
So good on her.
Now she's in Congress.
Now she's in Congress.
Well, yeah.
But she's doing good stuff.
It's one of the requirements to be in Congress. You have to be disabled.
Yeah, well, she's probably one of the first ones that would actually be physically disabled.
Physically, yes.
So we agree on that one. Woo! Alrighty, so big salute to Tammy Duckworth for her service and sacrifice.
No kidding.
Alrighty. Your turn.
All right. I'm going to file this one under Future of America.
Oh, no.
Johnstown, Pennsylvania, August 1st. A 12-year-old boy used a BB gun to hold up a lemonade stand operated by a 10-year-old. Apparently, the 10-year-old was not giving up his money. They wrestled around over the money box, but the older boy won. I tore apart the lemonade stand and made off with $30. The 3 other children who witnessed the incident led police officers to the suspect's home, and he will be charged in juvenile court. So, wow.
At least it was an age-appropriate weapon.
Well, it's probably all he could get at the moment. Douche.
Now, I was getting ready to read an article about this when I got your email. So I did not read the article.
Well,
that don't even look good.
No. First taste of test tube burger declared close to meat. The world's first laboratory-grown beef burger was flipped out of a petri dish and into a frying pan. That didn't even sound good. Flipping it out of the petri dish into the frying pan.
No. No, meat grows on animals.
Grown in vitro from cattle stem cells at a cost of $332,000. The burger was cooked and eaten in front of television cameras to gain the greatest media coverage for the culmination of a 5-year science experiment. Resembling a standard circular-shaped red meat patty. Who the hell writes these things? Hello? Are you alive? Fuck. It was created by kneading together 20,000 strands of lab-grown protein, combined with other ingredients normally used in burgers, such as salt, breadcrumbs, and egg powder. Okay. Red beet juice and saffron were added to give it color. So, basically, they grew a hamburger out of stem cells from a cow, but then they had to add all this crap to it so it actually looked like a hamburger.
I'm not eating that. No, it's not happening.
The 2 taste testers and the scientists behind all of this were all very reserved in their comments because, it
tasted like shit.
They knew it wasn't a burger. One food writer said the cultured beef had an animal protein cake-like quality. Anyway, they're looking at this as a way to stem, no joke intended, starvation issues. The Dutch scientists' aim was to show the world that in the future, meat will not necessarily have to come from environmentally and economically costly rearing and slaughtering of millions of animals. So, Soylent Green?
God damn. There's no way. Okay. My argument is always the same when it comes to this type of thought. Okay, because we're putting to death and torturing all these poor defenseless cows. Okay? That's why we're doing stuff like this. Is to prevent that. Okay, what the fuck happens to the cows if we decide as a culture and society to shift to, God forbid, friggin' laboratory-produced meat? If
they'll probably die off.
They'll die off. And people won't... They'll go extinct. Because, let's see, if chickens, just for our example, if we were not going to eat them, and we're not going to eat their eggs, there's no frigging reason to raise them.
Mm-hmm.
Same with cows. Mm-hmm. And if there's nobody raising them, you're not cutting them loose into the frigging wild. And if you do, guess what? Hunters are going after them. Gah!
Yeah.
No, not eating test tube meat. Ever.
Go to the supermarket and buy it because no animals were killed. All right.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
And finally, In Reno, Nevada. Dude goes to a pub, has dinner, drinks, whatever. Skips out on $100 tab.
Okay.
So
Shitty move, but it happens.
So they shamed him on Facebook. The pub.
Oh, do I need to click this?
No.
Okay.
The pub basically put him out there on Facebook and said,
They knew who he was and all
yeah,
that?
this guy, here's the douchebag that walked out on $100 tab. Anyway, the shaming, he was identified by somebody else from the Facebook shaming, and so police went and picked him up for parole violation or probation violation.
Oh, so on top of being just your standard douchebag,
Yeah,
he's also a criminal.
yeah. He was on probation, and that's not a big priority. Probation violation, not a big deal if it's not a.
If nothing happens because of it.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to drink alcohol, but he had a
Right.
few drinks, but nothing happened because of it.
Right. But somebody went, oh, hey, look, that's so and so. So the police went and picked him up for parole violation. So, karma,
Good.
Facebook shame.
Social networks to the rescue.
Oh, God help us.
Well, they help find kids, those Amber Alert things.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We're going to go to weather now.
Let's do that.
Frankfurt, Germany. For no other reason than pretty much everyone we know has been there at least once. So right now it is 87 degrees. What is going on?
Lola's protecting her food that she
Doesn't eat. Frankfurt, Germany. 87 degrees. Feels like 87 degrees. What do you know?
Imagine that.
Winds out of the south-southeast at 4 miles an hour with a humidity of 43%. We had an earlier today of 87 degrees. And tonight, a low of 65, mostly clear, 10% chance of rain, winds out of the south-southwest at 5 miles an hour with a humidity of 74%. So if you're flying through Frankfurt, Germany, there you go. You're going to have a pretty decent day. So that about does it. Got my hearing thing this evening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
Yep. All I got.
Alrighty. Well, I'll say bye to Roxy and Caden and Mom and Chris because they gave me shit on the YouTube channel. But so today's Monday, so we will see you on Thursday.
Keep your powder dry.